just a couple bad weather fans representing New York, talking all things sports. Man, what could go wrong? We got Alex, who's a fan of the Knicks, and Mike of the Nets. The yin-yang of the tri-state, place your bets on the Yankees, Giants, Mets, or Jets. Yeah, you should listen if it's sparking your interest. If you made a vow to your team, don't break it. Bad weather fans is the relation.
That's right. This is Bad Weather Fans, episode number 94. Mike Biseglia, Alex Benesowitz. We don't have a Knick game. We don't have a net game to talk about, but this is NBA nerdy edition Bad Weather Fans. When we talk about some just deep cut NBA fans. I'm born in 1983. Alex, you were born in 1984. 84. So we're about the same age in our basketball kind of love and growing up in the New York, New Jersey metropolitan area. Also with these topics, this is going to be a tease, a little preview of what we have planned for the year 2022. In 2022, we are expanding the Bad Weather Fans brand. Not only will you be getting the episodes that you hear every week after some of our Net and Knick games, and of course, like our last episode after our Net and Knick game together, where the Nets got the victory, just want to mention that. We'll also be doing our Patreon page, which will be bonus Bad Weather Fan content, where you will get nerdy NBA stuff that you'll hear now here on Bad Weather Fans, episode 94, and then some instant reaction pods that are bonus throughout the week. That will be on Patreon. We're excited to talk about it. We're excited to do it. And I know, Alex, once we get into 2022, we will be blowing up the Bad Weather Fans brand.
Damn right. Damn right. We'll be a real podcast.
Don't say that. Why do you say that? We're a real podcast.
We're a real podcast.
We rank on Apple. That's a big deal.
We crush it. We crush it in the United States. We're ranked. We're ranked in Canada. We were ranked in Switzerland for a while, like really high. It was bizarre.
Like 8.
Right. Yeah. Somehow. And I mean, thanks for all the support all around the world. We really appreciate it. Whoever you are, shoot us a tweet or, shoot us an email, badweatherfans@gmail.com. We want to know who you guys are, so it's pretty cool. So, but yeah, no. And we ended the last episode talking about a couple of topics, which now I think I was wrong. Because I'm Googling it as you're talking. And
what do you mean?
It's kind of like that.
What topics?
Well, okay. So we wrote down a few topics that we're going to talk about on the show, right? On the nerdy episode and what we're going to do with Patreon.
What are you wrong
and
about?
At the end of the episode, I said, who is the only NBA player or the first to come from Alaska?
Okay.
And who do you think it is?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Okay. Trajan Langdon. Remember that guy from
Yeah, he was a Nets assistant GM to Sean Marks.
Are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. Maybe that's why I remembered him recently.
Well, not the, I remember him from Duke, but yeah.
Uh-huh. So I'm trying to look now. I'm looking on Real GM and they're really good with their
There's
stuff.
somebody else from Alaska?
Oh, there is. Oh, I was looking it up wrong. Okay. So it says NBA.
You were looking at hockey. Yeah.
No, but you know what it is? He went to high school in Alaska and he grew up in Alaska, but he was born in Palo Alto, California. So he's probably not considered from Alaska on Real GM because it's probably so tough. But he's from Alaska. You know what I'm saying? Like I was born in Queens, but raised on Long Island, Lawrence High School. So I'm from Long Island, but I was born in Queens. You know what I mean? So it's just
I was born in Manhattan. I was raised in Jersey. I moved to New Jersey when I was 1 something. Yeah.
Where did you live in
upper West Side?
Excuse me.
What do you mean? Excuse you? I was yeah, that's when rent was it was minuscule. It's a little different.
Right. It's not like now, like $5,000 a month, right?
This was 1983, man. I don't know what the rent was like in the Upper West Side in '83. I forget the exact street. It was it was near Columbus Circle. No, it was higher than that. It was I don't remember. I don't remember exactly. I don't know.
Okay. Well, whatever. I was born in Queens, lived in Kew Gardens as a baby for a couple of years, and then we moved to Woodmere on Long Island. Went to Lawrence High School. That's what's up.
Yeah. No, I'm a Jersey kid. I love New Jersey. We could do a New Jersey, Long Island episode and really.
We could. Ooh, that'd be good.
I have a lot of thoughts on the food.
Better pizza, huh? Better pizza.
No, I think I've said this. This is not nerdy NBA stuff. This is food.
No, but
I have said, because I lived in Huntington, Long Island, and this is my official take on these things. One, I think the bagels in Long Island are better than New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
I think the by the slice joints in Long Island are better than New Jersey. I think the spots to get full pies are better in New Jersey than Long Island. No, I think the by the slice is better than in Long Island. Did I say that wrong? Or did I say that?
No, you said I got you. I don't know if that's what you.
I keep my mind is going a mile a minute. By the slice in
Mike
Long
delivers
Island,
pod.
pretty much in Long Island,
Yeah.
better than New Jersey, but by the full pizzas, I've preferred in New Jersey over Long Island.
Got it. Yeah, no, bagels are the best on Long Island.
I think they're
that's
better.
Like not debatable.
Definitely better.
Not debatable. The city, everyone's like city bagels are like they're not that great. And the Long Island bagels are massive and they're like they're nice. They're nice bagels.
Yeah. Still better than everywhere outside of the this area. Like New Jersey bagels are good. You go somewhere else, it's a different world. It's crazy.
That's true. It's true. They don't
different
know what
world.
bagels are.
They don't.
Yeah, no, they really don't. And do you know where Trajan Langdon went to school? If you don't, then
college. I already said. I said it earlier in the episode. You weren't listening.
Did you?
Yeah,
I wasn't listening.
I said, oh, he's
Duke.
a Nets GM, but I know he went to Duke. And you went, I said that. I know.
Oh, yeah, I wasn't listening.
He was there for 5 years.
What pick in the draft was he? What year?
13th.
No, 11. Close.
Oh, God.
What year?
You're like, no. Langdon would have been 2000 and
Nope.
earlier.
Nope. Yep.
Later.
Earlier.
1999.
Yep.
95.
Correct.
99.
99.
Okay, so I said he was the 13th pick and he was 11th. That's a good guess.
Yeah.
That was in the range.
He was a
of where
wow.
he was.
He was a 2-time EuroLeague champion. Wow, look at him, man. He bounced around. So he was a big Euro guy. He like his career highlights and awards are all EuroLeague, and it's like a long list. So he really did well there. He didn't do much with the Cavs, in the NBA. But you know what? I mean, coming from Alaska, that's pretty crazy, man. Alaska's a tough place to live. I've seen, not to make this depressing. I've seen like suicide rates in Alaska are like the highest in the country.
It's so dark.
It's dark 24/7 half the year. That's horrible, man. I mean,
sucks.
Can you imagine?
Well,
it sucks also for it to be light 24/7 the other half of the year. Like you can't ever go to sleep. Like,
or maybe that's what I'm thinking. It's light all the time, right?
It switches like half the year, something like that. Because the Earth is. I'm not going to get into that, but because I don't know what I'm talking about. But I just know it's the Earth is tilted in a certain way in the sun. I don't know.
Yeah.
And the Earth is round, by the way. Did you know
look
that?
At,
the Earth is
thanks for reminding me. You look at with the time change here a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And it's dark at 5 o'clock. And it's just tough. I mean, if there wasn't like a net game on, I'd be asleep every night at 9:15.
Yeah, no, sports definitely keeps you awake for sure.
It's so dark, it's annoying.
It is. It sucks. When I used to commute from Long Island to the city, a while back when I lived in Long Beach, I'd get on the train at like 6:20. Was my train. Get into the city around 7:30, get to work by 8, whatever. I would leave my apartment, it'd be dark out, and I'd get home, it'd be dark out. Like I would never see light in the wintertime. It was horrible. And I can't imagine just never having light. And like if I didn't leave the office for lunch and just see the sun, just to walk around, I would never see the sun. So it's crazy,
No, I remember that when I was doing CBS Sports Radio and I was doing the studios didn't have windows, and you'd be in there and it'd be at night and you just wouldn't see. I think it's just a healthy thing to look outside and not be a prisoner inside where you are, even though you're not a prisoner, but just to look outside the window.
Yeah.
It's a healthy thing to do.
It is. You got to have windows. Not like, I'm not saying I never had an office in my career, but like in my real job, this is not my, whatever. But like, I never had like an office, but I was always on floors with like windows everywhere. So you can see, oh my God, it's raining. And everybody talks about, oh yeah, it's raining. Oh man, I wish I had an umbrella,
You'll have an office one day.
Yeah, I hope so.
Like coming to the office. Oh, hold on one second. I'm finishing this report. All right, you can come in.
Hold on. I just don't want to do this to somebody. Put my finger up, like, up. Hold on. One second.
Meanwhile, you're just looking at fantasy basketball numbers.
Yeah. I'm looking at the podcast stats on
stats. Yeah, download this thing. You got any other nerdy NBA stuff for me, Alex, or for us, or for the audience?
I do. Let's see. Okay, legendary players in other jerseys.
This is fun.
Yeah.
All right, you want
What's
to
your
start,
go-to?
and we could like you go, I go, and we could go back and forth until we can kind of stop, and maybe we could help each other out because I know
Yeah.
we're doing any
Let's-
sport.
Yeah, so we talked about this on a previous podcast, I think. So let's omit
90,
Patrick
91.
Ewing and Hakeem Olajuwon, the famous picture of them, Ewing on the Magic and Olajuwon on the Raptors. So we'll omit those two. So mine would be, I don't know, is legendary, or is it could be just like known player on a team?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll go Jon Starks on the Bulls. Like that, like hurt my soul.
Yeah.
a little bit.
What year was he on
Really
the Bulls?
I don't know, man. It was
he
because he
good?
bounced. He went to the Warriors and no, he was done. He went to the Warriors and then he was on the Bulls at the end, and it was bad. It was hard to see. Yeah, he went to the Knicks, then the Warriors, and then the Bulls for 4 games, and then he went to finish up with the Jazz for 2 years.
I think Shaq, just at the end of his career on all of those different teams, Cleveland, Phoenix,
Shaq.
and Boston.
Boston was weird.
It was just he was done.
He was just a caricature. He was a mascot. He was just
Right.
like, hey,
we
Shaq's
signed
here.
Shaq, but it wasn't. I mean, which is
The big Aristotle, like he says
Oh,
things like that all the
which is so crazy too because of just how good he was.
Yeah.
How freakishly athletic he was in the with the Magic, and then when he put it all together with the Lakers, and he was just him and Kobe in that stretch where you're like,
right.
what are you gonna
What are we
gonna do here? What are we doing?
No.
Why are we trying?
It's true. It's true. So
But him on those teams weirds me out.
Speaking of Shaq, I was like Karl Malone on the Lakers. That was weird.
Yeah, but
They got to the finals though. Yeah,
he was still trying to win. That wasn't like
that's true.
I guess Shaq on the Cavs was trying to win, but Malone on the Lakers was a big piece with Gary and then with Kobe, Shaq, and trying to still win it. But that's still bizarre.
Yeah, that was weird. And then he had a cameo in Soul Plane, the movie Soul Plane.
Did you
ever see that movie? Yeah, Kevin Hart is at the airport, and the movie. I don't know if anybody's seen the movie where he like wins a big settlement because he gets stuck in the toilet on a plane, so he wins a big set, and he starts his own airline, and called NWA Airlines, and he's in the airport and he sees Karl Malone, and he's like, "Oh, Karl, you were this little guy." What? He's like, "Yeah, man, I play for the Lakers now." It was like this whole like funny scene, but
I got
anyway.
2 Karl Malone stories. Yeah, whatever.
He's not the best guy.
No. These are good.
But go ahead.
Watch. I know, but it was. So it was during. I'll say this story. So it was during the Last Dance was on, and I was producing at CBS, and like when the Last Dance was on, I was like, nothing was going on in sports. Everybody had to try to find a guest to get on to the show.
Yeah.
To like
Talk about the old times. Yeah.
So I looked up, I was like, I want to get Karl Malone on the Zach Elb show. How can I do this? Right? Like, okay, where do we even start? So I looked up other interviews that Karl Malone had done in the past. And I saw that he had done an ESPN interview with like the Louisiana ESPN affiliate because he's from the area, I guess. And he was like, he did an interview there. And I was like, you know what? Let me look up the show. I found the show and I found out the host. Then I saw the host and I DM'd the host of the show. And I said, blah, blah, blah. I want to get Malone. Do you have a contact? And he gives me his cell phone. So he gives me Karl Malone's cell. And I'm like, fuck it. Here we go. I just call Malone. I'm like, I'm going to call Karl Malone. And he answers the phone. I'm like, hey, Karl, with CBS Sports Radio, the Zach Gelb show. The Last Dance is going on. We'd love to have you on, talk about your incredible career and what happened versus the Bulls. And he declined and said no and was like, don't.
Was he nice? Was he nice?
He was nice, but he was like, don't call.
Firm.
Don't call.
Nice, but firm.
Nice, but like, this is not going to be a thing. This is not happening.
Delete my number, but
thank
you for thinking of me, but no, kick rocks. Yeah.
So yeah, Karl. I tried to get Karl Malone on a show. I called him and he declined.
That's crazy. I remember he was on Boomer and Carton once with Charles Oakley.
He was Charles Oakley. Oh, now you're going to get me defensive. He was on. Okay. He was on. Gio and Jones. I booked him. I booked Karl Malone, and then Al Duke came over and stole him away. That is a true story. Did
he ever go on Gio and Jones?
No,
he used to produce Gio and Jones. Let's be clear so people know. He used to produce Gio.
I produced him on the show, And then
Greg
they were like,
Giannotti.
"Oh, Karl Malone's
Yeah.
here. Let's just, hey, is it okay?" And to be fair, there was a million times I said, "Hey, Al, can I fucking have your guest?" So that was more the majority. But this was the one time we had Malone on. He was promoting something health related. He came on. I could send you the text. We set up a mini Nerf hoop in the studio, and he played one-on-one with Giannotti, and I videoed the thing. I could send it to you.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, no, that'd be cool to see.
That's the truth.
Should tweet
That's
that
a
out.
true
That'd be
story.
funny.
Al Duke stole him from me on that time. That's
crazy. I remember that was a wild interview. That was all before the Oakley and Dolan stuff, so I still liked Oakley. And then hearing Karl Malone and Oakley talk, and it was a really like a fascinating interview. It's mostly Karl Malone talking, Oakley just like giving his like 2 cents in here and there because Karl Malone was like hilarious. But all right, so you're up next. Go next. That was our long Karl Malone one.
Peyton on the Lakers.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I like
Peyton on the Heat. Peyton on the Heat.
Peyton on the Heat. Yeah, that's
he won the title
though.
He won the title, and he was a part of it.
He was a big part. That's fair.
Yeah. So all right. So my next one would be, it's kind of weird, but because he bounced around so much towards the end. Mutombo on the Knicks. You remember that? That was like for like a hot second. Yeah, that was weird because he bounced around, and it was just, and then that was the time with Isaiah Thomas, and he just made a trade every like 2 months.
Penny on the Knicks.
The million players. Penny on the Knicks. Yeah. Actually, my nickname in college was Penny.
Why?
My frat name, because I'm Jewish, and so like it was, so that's why, and because I like basketball, and they kind of mixed the two together, and then whatever, and so I always thought about I wanted to get a Penny Hardaway Knicks jersey to wear because I'm on Penny. Like, so there's still some friends of mine that like, who's Alex? Like, you know what I mean? Like, my name is Penny, and I should get a jersey like that, but then nobody would get it if I wore around with a Penny Hardaway Knicks jersey. Like, why are you wearing that? It wouldn't make any sense.
It would not.
So
I have one for you. You tell me if this qualifies. Durant on the Sonics.
No,
it's weird, it's still weird.
Yeah.
Because that's where his career started, and that was the last year in Seattle.
That's more of a throwback. Like, that's a cool throwback. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I still think it's bizarre though. Like, Durant on the Sonics is a cool jersey.
Yeah. I have a jersey, Luke Ridnour on the Sonics.
That's random.
Like, it's so random. I just he was a white guy, and I like that. I like the thought he'd be better than what he turned out to be, and,
all right.
He was okay. No, I don't think Durant would count. What would you think? You think that counts?
I don't know. It's like a reverse one because it was the last year in Seattle, and then obviously they moved, and I think people now think of him with the Thunder, Warriors, and now the Nets. But it's that no one thinks of him as a Seattle Supersonic.
Wasn't Russell Westbrook drafted by the Sonics and then they moved, or was
he
not?
I don't know the exact timeline because
Thunder, right?
Durant was drafted before him.
Yeah.
So, but I don't think he never played in a Seattle jersey.
No, but he was technically drafted by the Supersonics.
So they didn't move yet.
In 2008. They didn't move yet, but they moved like right after. That's crazy. That's a nerdy NBA fact right there. Russell Westbrook drafted by the Sonics. Who would ever think? That's crazy.
That is weird. But he was still there, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know if he ever played. He never played.
No, because they moved. They moved
like 2 months later, or something like that. Which is
so they didn't rebrand yet during the draft, is what you're saying.
Right. They were still the Sonics. So they probably thought they might be the Oklahoma City Sonics, which would be very a tongue twister. So good thing they didn't do that. Thunder's a weird name too because it's not a thing; it's a sound.
No.
Like the Oklahoma City horns, like the car horns. It's
the ones that don't end in S are always weird. Magic, Heat.
Yeah. There's a lot more of them. But that used to be a trivia question back in the day, like what teams don't end in an S, and it was like Magic, Heat, and that's it. And then now it's just in all teams, in all like Avalanche. There's one in the hockey. So
can you name any hockey players that were on weird teams? Could you do one?
Wayne Gretzky on the St. Louis Blues. That was a weird one.
I didn't know he was on the Blues.
Yeah, that was a weird
before one. Or the end. That's the end of his career.
That's the end. Yeah, that's way at the end. He started off with Winnipeg, then the Kings, then he was the Rangers, and then he's bouncing around.
Brodeur on the Islanders is still bizarre.
Because I used to like hockey back in the day. Yeah, Brodeur is weird.
You're not listening to me.
Brodeur with on the who? Did you say on the Islanders? I was looking up Wayne Gretzky. I googled Wayne Gretzky, and then
I go Brodeur on the Islanders was weird. And you go, yeah, Brodeur.
No, he wasn't on the Islanders, right? No, he was the Devils. Obviously, I know that, but I didn't know that he was like on. No, he was on the Blues before the Rangers. By the way, Gretzky.
Oh God, See,
No,
you're not listening.
We're not going to
me.
hockey thing. No, I know.
I
But
said
Brodeur
Brodeur.
was on another team after the Devils.
I don't know,
right?
maybe, but Brodeur
was.
on the Islanders. I
don't
know
think he
like
played.
3 Devils in my life: Scott Stevens, Martin Brodeur, Scott Stevens, and Richer. Oh, Kenny Danico. That's another one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah. We're not doing NHL nerdy NHL because this is the end of the nerdy.
Yeah. Okay.
Mid 90s, we can probably
know.
tell them. In 94 Rangers, I can probably name the whole roster, like Estetikinen and all these guys, but I'm not going to go into
good
that.
Point. Let's move on.
Yeah. Who else we got? What, maybe am I up or I guess right?
Let's save some. We don't have to do this for the rest of our lives.
Okay. Well, let's do one more each. How about that? One more random. But let's try to get real random. Real random.
All right, you go first so I can think.
Let's think of famous players that were on random.
We got to think of
Michael Jordan on the Wizards.
That's a good one. That was weird.
That was weird. So weird. That's too obvious. I mean, that's way too obvious.
Right.
It's way too obvious. Alonzo Mourning on the Nets. How about that?
That's a weird one. That's a weird one. Well, him and Kenyon got in a fist fight.
Yeah, that's why he was gone, right? You told me that story.
Yeah,
I didn't remember that at the time.
Yeah,
I remember he was an asshole with the Nets and he didn't want to be there. And that I remember. But I remember
with the Heat and won the title.
Yeah, as a backup.
Back to the Heat.
Yeah. His number retired. That's, of course.
Did Tim Hardaway go anywhere after Miami?
I don't
think
so.
The Warriors and then the
Obviously
Heat.
It was the Warriors.
Was there a post-Miami team for him or was he just done?
I don't know.
I don't remember him anywhere else.
Let's see. I keep thinking about the Pistons because I know he coached there as an assistant for a little while, but I don't think he went anywhere after. Let's see.
I got one. I got a good one. I'll end with this.
Go.
Tony Parker on the Hornets.
That is weird. Very weird. Tim Hardaway Sr., I'm sorry, played for the Mavericks, the Nuggets, and then the Pacers at the end.
Okay, so he did bounce around. I just have no memory.
So the Mavericks, he played a full season, and then the Nuggets, he played then he played for the Nuggets and then the Pacers.
And it was just
2 years. Yeah, probably. Yeah, I don't even remember. Neither of us remember that. So that means that he was done.
Yeah, he's riding the bench.
Yeah.
That's a Dolan trivia if we were the fans of the Pacers. He was number 11 and played 11 games. He's most known for.
Oh, I got a good one. Good random one. Haywood Workman as an NBA referee. That's weird.
That's
probably why the refs hate the Knicks. It's probably why the refs hate the Knicks because he was a big,
refs don't hate the Knicks. Knicks fans just can't recognize calls. Obsessed with the refs.
That's got to be crazy. Imagine being a player and then becoming a ref.
It's a weird perspective.
Think about that. Yeah.
That's like
I think LaMelo said something about that. I'm gonna become a ref afterwards and show you how to do it or something.
Right. Yeah, I don't know.
Haywood Workman really did it.
He did it. You have to have a better appreciation for it if you're a player. I would think
you gotta love the rules of the game.
Right?
Yeah.
That's
just be a coach, man.
Career move. You got assistant coach. But I mean, I guess if the life of a ref, something not discussed. What's that life like?
I feel like you got to be a bit of a masochist to be a referee, to want to be a referee because you have there's no positive. Nobody looks at you and be like, go refs. Everybody's like, boo, no matter what. Even if it's a good call, the crowd is going to kill you. You know what I mean? Because you're just. So it's just nobody says, wow, that was a great game by the refs. Nobody.
It's a good game if no one recognizes you.
Right. So you're either not recognized or you're trash. You're either a nobody or you're the worst thing in the history of the world. So why would you ever want to be a referee? I really don't. It's like being a politician. Why would you ever want to be a politician? I don't understand.
Well, people love power. I don't think refs have power.
I guess.
But the power.
Well, they have some. They have some power, I guess.
Yes, they do. They have power, but it's not. They have power over things that are on the court. I'm talking about the power and ego and political bullshit.
No, that's true. That's true. I don't know. So I'm getting the wrap it up sign from Hannah in the back.
I was like,
what? Yeah, no. Yeah, there's a lot of different things that we could talk about on this when we start doing our Patreon, and it's really good. It's really fun, and
the wrap it up sign.
And I mean, she just
want me to put the music in the background. Bad with
what's funny?
Relation.
The relation. No, let's name at least the two more of these random guys. I think we can get some more. We got some other cool questions we can get to. You want to get to one other random question?
You tell me. You got the wrap up sign. You give me. You tell me the time you have. I don't know.
We're okay. We got a few more minutes. So so Iverson versus Steph. Who changed the game more?
I feel bad because somebody tweeted me and I thought their answer was so perfect. Damn it. I think Curry changed the game more for the fact that we're now seeing it shift to a 3-point barrage, and that the mid-range game, although the Nets have one apparently, it's kind of dead.
Mid-range monster, yeah.
And LMA, that he changed the way kids now play the game, where they want to be Curry and take 40-foot threes and do that whole thing. Damn it, who said this? But Iverson changed the game culturally in a bigger way. So I think they both had impacts just on different ways the game's been shown.
That's true. That's a good point. I mean, Iverson, I guess that's a really good point, because Iverson, they changed the rules for Iverson, because he used to have the man-to-man defense and the illegal defense. You remember it's an illegal defense. He wasn't guarding this guy, that was like the big thing growing up. But and then Iverson came in the league, and they would literally have all of the other Sixers players stand on one side of on the court, and Iverson just would go one-on-one with the defender, and the defender had no shot. And it was boring basketball. It was incredible to see the talent, but it was terrible basketball. It's just not basketball. It's just park, playing in the park. And they had to change the rules for him. So they both had rules kind of changed for them. I guess Steph not really, but like he just changed the NBA, and the shooting a three is actually a good shot. Like doing a fast break, you pop a three on a fast break.
Mills
in the
had
90s,
one.
You get benched. Yeah.
That Patty Mills pull up three. I get he was hot. He made the first two, but it was like,
Oh, with Randall in front of him.
It was 2-on-1.
Randall,
It was him and Bembry, and he pulled up for three. And I'm like,
they had Randall backpedaling, and he pulls
like
up for a three. I think he didn't want to get blocked. Yeah.
I was like, I get it, but it feel old. What are you doing? Like, go to the basket, whatever.
That's funny. Yeah, no, you know what? I thought of two more as we were talking of random players.
Yeah.
So we got Dominique Wilkins on the Celtics and the Magic.
A good one.
Those were weird. And Bernard King on the Bullets. That was a strange one at the end. But he was good on the Bullets though. Like he averaged like in the mid to high 20s.
Where did Chris Webber end his career? That's got to be
Detroit.
Yeah,
he went home. Yeah, that was weird. He bounced around because you imagine winning Rookie of the Year on the Warriors and then demanding a trade after you just won Rookie of the Year.
He has one of the strangest NBA careers.
He does. Then he was at the Bullets. He was at Bullets Wizards, right? And then with Juwan Howard, and then
the Bullets
he went
had
to
a
the Kings.
Good. Him, Juwan. I want to say Rod Strickland was there, and that was when they had a really nice young nucleus. And then Webber got dealt to the Kings, and Mitch Richmond, I think, I guess was to the Wizards then, or if they changed their name. And then Webber had that sequence with the Kings that had those great runs, that had those awesome playoff series against the Lakers that lost. But Webber's like it's like he had a great career but didn't live up to what it was. So I think there's always this note on him like, yeah, it was great, but look what he did in Michigan. He was the number one pick.
Always failed to the Lakers. Yeah.
He didn't become right. He was great, but he's not in the all-time level conversation.
He's Dominique Wilkins. He's like a Dominique Wilkins kind of player, like he's probably a Hall of Famer, you would think, Webber. Did he get in yet? I mean,
I don't know if he did, but with basketball, it's not the NBA, it's the Basketball Hall of Fame.
Right.
With his career at Michigan, you would think so.
The Warriors had some wild players back then too, because like Webber got traded. Don Nelson was trying to put together this not a super team, but he had a lot of good players. Like Tom Gugliotta was an all-star. He was over there. Tim Hardaway, Mitch Richmond. Like you just had these guys that were bouncing around. I remember on the Warriors, and they were always bad. But they always had good players. You know what I mean? It was one of those like weird.
Webber's a Hall of Famer.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, just this past year with Paul Pierce.
But do his Michigan years count since they were stricken from the record? Do they count?
I don't know how that.
Do they count for the Hall of Fame? That's a deep cut question, right?
That's why everybody's always like, Carmelo's not a Hall of Famer. I'm like, well, look what he's done in the Olympics. Look what he did at Syracuse. He's definitely making the Hall of Fame. This is not a debate. Not even close.
No, he's in the Hall of Fame for sure. Oh, they had Latrell Sprewell also, the Warriors. So the Warriors had Latrell Sprewell, Chris Webber.
It's in the Hall of Fame. It's like, Spree's in the Hall?
No, maybe. No, I'm just kidding. They had Latrell Sprewell, Chris Webber, Chris Gatling, Avery Johnson, Chris
What a
Mullen
roster.
1 year, and they won 50 games and they lost in the first round. That was Chris Webber's only year with the Warriors. Why would you want to be traded from that?
Man,
he
I
must
wanna
have
know the
hated
history on
Don
that,
Nelson.
too.
He must have hated Don Nelson. Like he must have really, really hated the guy.
And then the fact that Weber and Penny got dealt on draft night to start. Was just a weird,
Start
just
the
a
Magic.
weird
We thought
tone.
dynasty. You thought it'd be a dynasty. They got 2 finals, whatever. Yeah, no, that's strange.
Not the
That is
Magic
a weird-
winning back-to-back lotteries like that.
Right. And also with the Fab Five, everybody the Fab Five, like not I don't know if they still hate him, but they hated him for a while. Chris Webber, Jalen Rose and Jackson and the other guys, and Juwan Howard, they all hated him. I don't know why, but he wasn't in that Fab Five 30 for 30, right? Chris Webber.
And I don't remember.
Yeah.
I watched it, but I want to say I don't remember
wasn't,
exactly, but I'm sure there was something like we asked Chris Webber to join and he declined to do it.
Right.
sure
And
there
I
was
think
something.
I think it came out that he regretted it because it's just like, come on, man, just do it. Because Jalen Rose was producing it. So, and he was because he's ESPN guy. So, of course he's going to do it right. And, there was that controversy that came out afterwards with him and Grant Hill when they're calling him the names that like bad names of, and Grant Hill released this whole thing, that's a crazy career, Grant Hill, if you want.
That's another one, Grant Hill.
Yeah.
Similar
It's a
in the
wild
vein
career.
of like great player, injuries hurt him at the end, but never made it to a level of a like next level player. But he was on
Grant Hill Pistons.
Grant Hill.
He was amazing. Grant Hill Pistons was like incredible with those weird Pistons uniforms with the
Yeah.
green and the
Terrible
but like,
jerseys.
but he was. I remember going to a game live, and as a kid, going to the game live. It was mid '90s, so I wasn't really like a kid, but middle school when I really can appreciate the game and like seeing it live and playing it and like, wow, Grant Hill is sick. Him and then Baron Davis on the Hornets was one of those guys when you see him live as a younger person and when you're first starting to really appreciate the game on a different level than when you're like a young kid just watching, hoping the team wins, And seeing those guys live was incredible as a kid.
Yeah, it was that's why we fell in love with it, was watching these guys play. I got just seeing. I bring this up in the past, but we had Nets season tickets, and at that point, for my dad and I, it was less about the Nets, but it was more about seeing all the other teams come in. So you got a good seat to see Charles Barkley, Shaq,
right,
Duncan, etc.
No, that's cool. No, I get it.
One more for you.
Yeah,
Tracy McGrady, Spurs.
Yeah, that was weird. He never played a regular season game, I don't think, for the Spurs, right? He got signed at the end of the year. I think he just played in the play. Did he even get in? He definitely played at some point, like in garbage time. But I think he was like signed like in the playoffs, and something like weird. Something weird like that, I think. But no, that's a good one. That is a really good one. That was that was so terrible that that's mix it back to Grant Hill with Tracy McGrady's career. He went from the Raptors. Yeah, and goes to the Magic. Think he's going to start like this big two. This is a tag team with him and Grant Hill. And Grant Hill, was never the same because the Pistons kind of ruined him with his knee injury. He said, Grant Hill said, whatever. See, this is the kind of nerdy NBA stuff. We just start talking about one random player to go off on a tangent.
I wanted to do hockey. You wouldn't let me.
Like we broke down the 1994 Warriors. So
but 94
that's a crazy. 94 is a crazy year, man. That was a nuts
NBA
year.
or
the NBA for the world too, but for the NBA, man, like who was the most valuable player that year in 94?
In 1994, I'll go Barkley.
Nope, Hakeem. That was the other
solid guess. 93 was Barkley.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, that makes sense because Jordan was gone.
93 was Barkley. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's a fun. That would be fun. I would love to. This is. We could do this moving forward.
Oh yeah.
Guess the number one picks per year, and then can you guess who the MVP was? Which at this point is just kind of educated guessing.
Yeah, no, it is. And do you remember that year David Robinson won the scoring title? Remember that
he had
year?
Like 110 points to end the season.
On the last game, they just kept feeding him the ball.
Didn't he have 72 or something?
Yeah, it was probably like 50 shots or something crazy. Like he was just taking every shot. Like they had no shame. And they wanted him to get that scoring title. Imagine doing that today. You would get so criticized. Like it's ruining the fabric of the game. Can you believe it?
Well, the Kobe 81. I mean,
yeah. That was crazy.
Wild.
Didn't Kobe have a crazy game where he had like 60 and 3/4, like a few games, like 2 weeks before that or something? Like he had something
I don't
was
know,
inside of him.
maybe.
But he always had that kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, let me see.
I remember
how many
that
shots.
Robinson.
So he had 71 points in the last game of the season on April 24th, 1994. He was 26 of 41. So he shot 63% from the field. That's pretty good.
Oh, man. How good would Robinson be today with the threes?
I don't know. He was 18 of 25 from the line. 18 of 25.
Hmm.
And he had 5 assists.
You're upset about James Harden. You're upset about James Harden's 10 free throws.
Oh, yeah, no, I know. Yo, I have a funny David Robinson story. We can end it with this.
Okay.
So I'm walking in a previous life before COVID. I'm walking to work, and I'm in this. I live in the city, and I work in the city in Manhattan, by the way, the real city. And I'm walking past Grand Central just to get to work. I worked over by Rockville Center, Radio City, and near Radio City, not at Radio City. So anyway, so I'm walking by Grand Central, and I'm just walking, got my headphones in, and minding my business, doing my thing, morning commute. And I just see this giant person like coming towards me, and I look up, and it's fucking David Robinson. Like, I'm just like, holy crap! Like, what the hell? And I look at him like, and he saw my face like look up from like serious to like some like shock, like, oh my god! And he looked at me. He was like, he nodded to me. I was like, how you doing? Hey, how's it going?
Yeah,
like how you going? Yeah, no, he's just you could tell he's just such a nice guy. He's like,
good
oh,
person.
not like holy shit, this guy recognized me. Just like, oh, he recognized me. That's cool. I mean, the NBA store is like kind of around the block from there, so maybe there was something to do with that. But it was so funny because he has to know he's going to get recognized. You're 7'1" walking around New York City, and like even if he's wearing a regular suit, like you're gonna be recognized.
Correct,
you know,
attention.
yeah. In the city though, you can walk by people like that all the time. He probably can walk by and not get noticed, but people are probably like, wow, that guy must be a basketball player. But for me, it's a guy like me, I'm gonna say like, that's freaking David Robinson right in front of like, how was that possible? Like I texted like everybody I knew, like I just saw David Robinson. Can you believe it? They're like, so what? So
right.
Anyway.
Patrick Ewing.
Exactly.
Who had a better career, Ewing or Robinson?
Oh, that's a good one.
It's
I'm going to say
with the
Ewing.
titles.
That's probably right. Well, yeah, he got the title because of Duncan. He got the title, and Ewing got hurt. So.
Oh, did they play each other
in the finals? Yes.
Oh,
thanks.
I missed that.
Yeah.
No, that was like the one year I didn't dislike the Knicks.
Because they were a likable team, the 8th seed. I mean, like, it was a lockout year. They weren't a real 8th seed, though. It's not like, the Wizards of last year winning the title, So
I didn't dislike that. I think I was probably rooting for that Knicks team. If I had to guess.
That is a surprise.
Breaking news on Bad Weather Fans.
But it's back then though. Like I used to like, and I didn't hate the Nets when they were in New Jersey. I liked Kenny Anderson. He's like was one of my favorite players growing up. And I liked Sam Cassell, even though Sam Cassell killed the Knicks in the '94 finals. For some reason, I developed a respect for Sam Cassell because he was a rookie.
I love Cassell. He was great.
And I like those teams, but whatever. And I liked Marbury until he got to the Knicks, and I realized who he really was. So because I always followed Marbury's career because coming from Brooklyn and whatever, so
that's another weird career from Marbury. Demanding.
I don't know how he's not on the Hall of Fame. I don't know how he's not in the Hall of Fame, Marbury, based on the criteria. So? Was it China? Look at how he dominated in China. He was a multiple-time All-Star in the NBA.
International doesn't make a difference.
Yao Ming's in the Hall of Fame.
Well, his NBA career was a little better than.
But it was only like how long was it?
It wasn't
written. Yeah. Let's see.
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I don't think Marbury's a Hall of Famer.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years in the NBA. Yao Ming. That's
I have all these stories. We'll save for another time.
Yeah, no, but this is the kind of stuff you get on the Patreon page. All this random NBA stuff that we'll just talk and have fun and do some random reactions as well to games. So
absolutely, guys. Yes, we will update you on all of that for 2022, but we wanted to give a little tease for it. Bad Weather Fans, episode number 94. Download, subscribe, rate. If you're on YouTube, give the thumbs up. Tell your friends about it. If you're listening, take a photo, share it on Twitter at Nick Central, at Mike Delivers Pod. Tell us where you are listening or watching this podcast. We love the feedback. We love hearing from you guys. This has been episode number 94. Alex, good shit as always, and I'll talk to you later.